Today we're going to talk about your ex and what you should do if you want to forget them and your experience together. Now they say that time heals all wounds, but there's a few important points they tend to leave out. For example, how much time will it take before you can forget your ex and your wounds are healed? And will time alone heal your wounds, or do you have to do something else? Well, that's what we're going to be exploring today. Now, first things first, you came to this video because you're interested in maybe forgetting your ex, but a lot of times people who want to forget their ex don't really know what they should be doing. Some people want to get their exes back, some people want to just simply move on and forget their ex, and I put together a special tool on my website, www.exboyfriendrecovery.com, called the Ex Recovery Chances Quiz. It's a simple quiz that will take 2 minutes to complete, and it's free. And essentially what it does is it asks you a bunch of questions about your relationship and your relationship with your ex, what you're like, what your ex is like, and then taking all those factors, we can kind of give an idea or give you an idea of what sort of chance you have of getting your ex back, and if that's something that you should even be considering. So if you're interested in taking this quiz, it's super easy. Again, free, simple, 2-minute. All you have to do is simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on it. It's that simple. Okay, let's talk about forgetting your ex and if that's something you should be doing. Now, I'd like to start off by talking about the one thing that no one ever seems to acknowledge, and that's the fact that society has unrealistic expectations for how long it should take you to get over a breakup. This is something I see a lot when I work one-on-one with clients because they'll often come to me and are embarrassed to tell me that it's been 2 years, but they're still hung up on their ex. They've talked to their friends, they've talked to their family and friends are sitting there and saying, "Move on. Why aren't you over this yet?" It is unrealistic to expect you to get over a breakup before you're actually ready to do that. Now let's take that quote, "Time heals all wounds," head on. I actually do not agree with it. At the beginning of this video, I posed 2 questions. Number 1 is, how long should it take for you to get over or forget your ex-boyfriend? And number 2 is time alone all it will take? Now, ultimately, the answer to these questions is a little difficult to sort of talk about because number 1, no one can tell you when you're ready to get over a breakup. That's something that only you can sort of find your way or find your way to. And the second question was, hey, is time all it takes to get over a breakup? And it is not. You see, what I think people fail to realize is that just having time go by won't simply cure your wounds, even if it's been years. What's more important is what you do with that time. So it's interesting, what I've often found when I've worked with clients who want to prioritize getting over an ex or forgetting about an ex, it really boils down to a lack of discipline and confidence. Well, now what do I mean by that? Well, simply they lack the discipline or the confidence to prioritize their ex below themselves. So the question I'm going to ask you is, are you placing your ex on a pedestal that they don't deserve to be on? It is common for us as humans to obsess about things that we hold in high regard. This can relate to people, your favorite TV shows, your favorite books, anything that you hold in high regard, you tend to think about a lot. And this certainly gets magnified when you're dealing with someone that you are deeply in love with or were deeply in love with. Maybe you look back on your time with your ex as this amazing experience that you've never been able to replicate afterwards. That causes you to place that person on a pedestal. It makes you think about them time and time again. Oftentimes it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy where you go out on a date with someone else and all you can do on the date is think about how great things were with your ex and how badly you want that back. So the $1 million question is, how do you get your ex off that pedestal and stop thinking about them so much? How do you reprioritize your life so that they're not always number 1 in your mind? And in my mind, it all boils down to confidence. Now I know that seems like generic advice. Oftentimes you'll hear people that say, hey, you just need to be more confident. But what does that really mean? How do you become more confident? And it's a little bit more philosophical than you might think. Oftentimes when I say confidence, the first thing that you think of is willpower or strength. But oftentimes how you build confidence doesn't really work that way. You see, in my opinion, there are 3 layers to confidence, and each has this interchangeable relationship. Often when I talk about my concept of the 3 layers of confidence, I'll often talk about them like layers on a cake. Each one builds on top of the other to sort of enhance the confidence of the individual as a whole. So let's start from the outside in. Let's start from the top of the cake all the way down to the foundation of the cake. The first layer of confidence is called the surface layer. The surface layer is all about perception, or how others perceive you. Now the goal here with the surface layer is always to have others perceive you in a positive way. Now this can be done many different ways, but the biggest enhancers to the surface layer are what you post on social media, how you look, how you walk, things of that nature sort of encompass the surface layer. But the surface layer is, without a doubt, the most superficial layer to confidence, and it isn't the thing that you really need to sort of get down. Oftentimes, it's the second, deeper layers that people have trouble with. It's really easy to look really good or post really cool things on social media, but the next few layers are a little bit more difficult to sort of enhance or master. So the second layer to confidence is called the lifestyle layer. Now, where the surface layer was all about how you are perceived by others, this layer is all about what you do. What is your lifestyle like? What skills do you have? Hobbies, work, family, friends? Who are you surrounding yourself in your life? All of this stuff enhances the lifestyle layer. So here we're getting less and less superficial. With the surface layer, it is the most superficial aspects of yourself. Your social media accounts, what you look like, how you walk, how you talk, things of that nature. Then the lifestyle layer is all about sort of who you're surrounding yourself with and what you're doing with your time. But really mastering these 2 areas of confidence is kind of easier than the last layer. And without a doubt, the last layer creates the foundation for confidence as a whole. And that's the internal layer of confidence. Now, mastering this internal layer can make you feel emotionally invincible. Now, it doesn't prevent you from having a painful experience, but it does give you the confidence to know that you're going to be okay, that you're going to get through it. And I think that's what really hooks into the sort of message of this entire video when it comes to forgetting the experience with your ex. It's about reprioritizing him below you. And a lot of people who aren't able to do that don't have a really strong internal layer of confidence. So the question now becomes, well, how do you create that layer? What can you do to build the foundation of confidence? Well, in my experience, when it comes to internal confidence, there are 2 ways that you can sort of affect it. The first one is probably the most action-oriented one, and that's to work from the outside in. I told you about the surface layer of confidence and the lifestyle layer of confidence. By improving those areas of your life, you will just naturally have this sort of trickle-down effect into the internal layer of confidence. But doing those 2 things alone, improving those areas of confidence, if you will, won't be enough to truly make you confident. For that to happen, you need to have a paradigm shift. Now, what's a paradigm shift? Well, essentially it's a fancy way of saying you need to look at your life a little bit differently. So did you know way back in ancient Greece, the big philosophers or scientists of the day used to think that the sun revolved around the earth? It wasn't until later that we learned that actually no, the earth revolves around the sun. That concept of going from the sun revolving around the earth to the earth around the sun is an example of a paradigm shift. It's looking at the situation in a new light. And that's what you need to do with regards to your breakup, because it will help you reprioritize your priorities so that your ex isn't numero uno, he's number 3 or 4. And once you do that, you'll find that it's a lot easier to move past the breakup. Or once you do that, it can actually help you get them back if that's something that you want to do. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you haven't already, make sure you stop everything you're doing and hop over to my website and take the X Recovery Chances quiz. Simple 2-minute free quiz designed to tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back, so you know if you're wasting your time or not. Simply look in the description link below this YouTube video and click on it if you want to do that. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We love it when you do. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.